Hi, hello. I'm coming from my sister and brother-in-law's living room. They have a lot of natural light in here, so I am loving the lighting and I wanted to film in here. I went to a Broadway show yesterday. It was so much fun. Um, and I didn't actually have a say in what I was seeing. I played Broadway roulette, and we can get into that in a little bit. But essentially, I got tickets. I ended up seeing The Lion King, which, okay, any other time, great, fine, fantastic. But yesterday was really special because it was the 25th anniversary of their original release date. So the day they premiered on Broadway was November 13th, 1997, and I went and saw it yesterday, November 13th of 2022, 25 years later. So it was a really special showing, and I had no clue. I just showed up thinking I was going to a normal Broadway play. But when we got there, they had these little lion cubs on our seats, little baby Simbas, um, on everybody's seat. Everybody got one. It was so cute. It has little Lion King on the butt there. Um, it was so cute. It was a nice little surprise. You can sit there. And I don't want to say it was wasted on my sister and I because it wasn't. We thoroughly enjoyed it, but like there was so many people there who knew each other, who were part of the community, who just like you could tell that they have like been around together or like even maybe been in the shows together. Like there was a lot of the Broadway community, whether or not they perform in it or they financed it or they just know everything about it and love, the community and engaging with everything that there is to do there. Um, it was really, really cool to see, but we were just like, I don't know what's going on. And it was funny because I've never been to obviously any kind of anniversary celebration performance. And they do a few things a little bit differently. So, like, when we got there, we knew something was up because they were like setting up a stage outside for like people to perform. And I was like, that's weird. Like, why would they block this whole area and like not let people through? Like, why are they setting up a stage outside of a Broadway theater? So we were watching them set that up before we went inside, and then when we got inside, you just saw all these people like dressed to the nines. Now, don't get me wrong, like when I go to a Broadway play, I try to dress like on the nicer end, but like nicer end for me is like a pretty sweater and like black pants, you know? Um, but no, there were people there in like full on suits, ties, tuxedos, like these just glitzy, sparkly, which I love, just dresses and shirts and people with like headpieces. They had these beautiful, like the pointy headpieces. Um, it was amazing to see. It was really cool because it was almost like being at an opening night for a play. What I would imagine, like the caliber of dressing is for that, because we were just regular people off the street, right? Like, and there were people there too. Don't get me wrong. There was plenty of people that were there that were like us, who just like either got tickets or won tickets, um, and showed up and had no idea. But then, yeah, the majority, probably like 75% of people knew what were going on and came dressed for it. And had I known, I would have worn like my finest sparkly dress. But that's another story. Anyways, so it was a magical experience, and it was really cool because after the show they had alumni come out and they like honored them. So like the show didn't end at its normal time, it went on because they brought up some of the creators and the producers that got this play on Broadway. And we got to hear from a few different people speak from the heart about like what this show means to them and all the work that went in to get it on the stage and how it's still running 25 years later, which is an amazing feat for Broadway, quite honestly. Um, and so they had a little performance. They had some alumni come up and sing, and it was just like I hope that everybody gets to experience this at least once, in their life, where they go to like a special Broadway show, because a Broadway show on its own is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but like when they're celebrating something, it's just even that much more fun. Like it was just such an experience, and it was so fun. And what made it even more magical is that, like, we didn't know. We didn't know. So it was just, we were in awe of everything happening. And so the reason for that was because I played Broadway roulette. So I knew I was going to be on the Northeast, like, around this time. And I knew I wanted to go see a play while I was in town. And so my sister was like, yes, I'm free. Let's go. And so we picked that date, and I put it in for Broadway roulette, and it said it would be a matinee. And then you just pay whatever the fee is, and they spin a wheel, and that morning they tell you what show you won tickets to. So you don't know going in. So, like, I bought the tickets maybe like a week ahead of time. So I knew I had tickets for Sunday matinee. Don't know where. Don't know what I'm seeing. And then that morning I got the text, and it said The Lion King, which is really fun because my own personal experience with The Lion King was that I actually saw the preview show for it 25 years ago. It was either end of October or early November. I don't remember quite when, but I used to go into the city for my orthodontics appointment, and we were there, and either we were running late or the appointment got pushed back. I don't remember what it was because, again, I was young. It was 25 years ago. But I just remember the appointment was pushed back. So we had some time to just kind of burn. And so my dad ended up getting preview tickets for a new show on Broadway called The Lion King, which I had seen, you know, the cartoon. So, like, I was very aware of it. I was very excited for it. We went and we watched it, and, like, the costumes weren't fully done. They were, like, coming down the aisle, and things were, you know, like, it's a preview show, right? So, like, not everything is show ready, but they're practicing, and you get to pay and watch them practice. And so it was so fun. And we watched the show all the way up to intermission, where, you know, you see young Simba turn into older Simba. They're singing Hakuna Matata, whatever. So we watched that, and then at intermission, my dad's like, all right, time to go. And I was like, what? And he was like, we have your appointment, we have to go. So I only got to watch the first half of it, and that's all I've seen of The Lion King for 25 years, because after that, I remember my dad was like, well, maybe we can get tickets to go back, and it was sold out for like 3 years. It was sold out for like 3 years straight, and then it, you know, life happened, and we just kind of forgot about it. So here I am 25 years later getting an email saying, like, you're going to see The Lion King, and I was like, no way. So we go, and I finally get to see the second act, which was amazing, by the way. But it was just so cool to see just how the show's evolved, because I remember that preview show and just like what the costumes looked like, because as a kid I was just so enamored with it. And how the show's evolved, at least the first act. I never saw the second act, so that was all a surprise. But it just, the way that they utilize the stage and the costuming, it's so inventive and creative. And it was really cool to finally get to see the second act 25 years later on their 25th anniversary. The whole experience blew me away. There's not much more to say. I'm going to add in some footage from just, you know, seeing the show and what they said afterwards. And I hope that you enjoy Broadway as much as I do. I hope that you get to experience this kind of just celebratory show once in your life. It was super fun, super cool. And go play Broadway roulette, because, like, I'm not sponsored. I don't. It's just a fun thing that I tried, that I actually saw, I think, on like a TikTok or something. And it works. You get a fun ticket to a fun show, and maybe you'll look out and get a fun ticket to a 25th anniversary show. Who knows? So, anyways, go check out the footage that's attached at the end here. Check out our experience, and I hope you enjoyed.
Theatrical. We're just so grateful that you've all come today. You know, there's you know, members of our extended, I can't actually see you, but I know you're there. Members of our extended family are here. Members of the community, our friends from the entertainment community fund are here. And in the house are many veterans of The Lion King. The original cast members to stand up. Actually, you are standing. Put your hands in the air. We are a story told. Sit down. Sit down. We're a story told with animals, but of course it's a story of people. And this thing is entirely made and created and performed by people. This glorious live orchestra.
I think this is what you call live theater. Yeah, and I think there's a reason we're not sitting on our couches or in our beds or looking in our iPhone, right? Wouldn't you say there's something live and living and a reason to be in this space? Let's celebrate life. And it also brings us all together and creates what I like to say is a sacred space.